All righty. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the 11th episode of the Spin Zone for season number 2. And in the house tonight, just like we have every night that we've got the Spin Zone, I've got my co host, Mr. Steve Rodriguez. Steve,
What's up,
welcome back.
people? How you doing, Dan?
Doing good. Doing good.
Aren't we psyched up? Huh?
Aren't
Didn't we
we?
do good?
Yes, we did. We did really good this weekend. And we're kind of glad that things appear to be turning around. I hope
Little
that it
roller coaster,
continues.
sir. Ups and downs.
Ups and downs. There is no doubt that there are ups and downs, but hopefully there will be more ups than downs.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have no doubt about it. Right? What's on the schedule tonight?
Well, basically, what we've got is we are going to give a little bit of some highlights from this past game. And we've got a game coming up this Sunday, game number 5, which is Sunday, October 6th. It starts at 7:25 Central Time, and it will be broadcasted on NBC. So for those of you here locally, that will be on channel 23-1 off the air,
Yes.
and I
Yes.
believe channel 23 on Spectrum.
Something like that.
Something like that, right? So basically, it is game number 5 between the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Dallas Cowboys. As you know, this has been a rivalry since the 1970s between both of these teams, and it continues practically 60 years later. So
Right.
uh,
Right.
definitely, it is going to be an exciting game to watch.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And let's talk about game 4. And obviously, game 4 was a turnaround for the Cowboys. They won that game. They played against the Giants and they won that game 20-15. And I actually almost had my prediction correctly. If you recall from last week's show, I predicted 20-24, I think, or it was the Cowboys were going to win. I can't remember what the score was, but I got the Cowboys score correctly. I can't remember what I predicted for the Giants, but it was pretty close. So I think I may decide to go get some lottery tickets.
Hey, maybe you should get another job as a bookie.
Right? I should. Definitely, definitely. But it was definitely a good game. So basically, we'll go ahead and just give a few highlights. After several drives by the Giants with about 9:03 with a 4th and 4, a 52-yard field goal was attempted by Greg Joseph, which is the kicker for the Giants. And it was good. That brought the score Giants 3 and the Cowboys 0. We weren't very concerned yet at that point, because
Yeah.
it was still fairly early in the game, right? So then, of course, with about 2:06 remaining in the first quarter and second and goal, Dak Prescott throws a pass to Rico Dowdle, number 23. And despite a hold call, the touchdown is still good. So that was a great relief. We brought the score up, Cowboys 7, and the Giants remained at 3. And then with 11:14 at the start of the second quarter, once again, Greg Joseph attempts a 41-yard field goal, bringing the score Cowboys 7 and the Giants 6. So at that time we said, oh gosh, we have to make sure we hold these guys down. But
We were biting our nails.
that's right. We were biting our nails at that point. Even though it was the second quarter, we were still biting our nails, right? Because we've seen this happen before. So luckily, with 9:16 still in the second quarter, and they were at 1st and 10, Dak throws a pass to number 88, CeeDee Lamb, and he scores a touchdown. So that brings the score for the Cowboys 14 and the Giants 6. And then a couple of minutes later, with about 109 remaining in the second quarter, and their 4th and 8, Greg Joseph once again couldn't break his foot. He attempts a 38-yard field goal, and it is good. And that brings the score to the Cowboys 14 and the Giants 9. So they were getting closer, right? They were getting closer. I was just hoping he'd slip, right? I mean, somebody break this guy's leg, do something, you know?
Yes, sir.
Uh,
Pray, pray, pray.
pray, 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 you know? So the third quarter starts when with about 8:43 and fourth and goal, the Giants 34, number 34, Greg Joseph once again 22-yard field goal. And unfortunately, it's good. So it gets closer, right? It gets closer. The Cowboys are still at 14. The Giants now have creeped up to 12. So by that time, we were already biting our nails saying, this may escape us, right? This may escape us. But luckily, that wasn't to be the case. Brandon Aubrey, our boy, came to the rescue about 30 minutes later at 8:11 with fourth and 11. Cowboys, Brandon Aubrey attempts a 60-yard field goal. I was worried about that. That's quite a long way, but it was good, and that brought the score to the Cowboys 17-12. So it kind of separated the score a little bit.
Yes. Yes. We're
So
like,
that
yeah.
was
I was
good.
like, yes. I was like, yes, yes, yes.
But of course, it was going to continue. Greg Joseph still with that good kicker leg with 11:16 in the fourth quarter. They were at fourth and 14th. He attempts a 42-yard field goal, which of course should have, is a piece of cake. That was a good field goal, and that brought the score once again. Cowboys 17 to the Giants 12. So by that time, I was sweating still, right? It's like, oh my gosh, this is impossible. Sorry, Giants 15, not 12. So within 2 points, right? So then, with 6:67 remaining in the fourth quarter and fourth and 7, our boy Brandon Aubrey comes back with a 40-yard field goal, and it is good. So that brings the score to the Cowboys 20 and the Giants 15. And to go for the kill with 26 seconds still remaining on the clock in the fourth quarter and fourth and 8, Brandon Aubrey attempts a 51-yard field goal, but unfortunately it's no good, leaving the final score Cowboys 20 and the Giants 15. So
That's
definitely
what
it
scared me.
was,
That last one.
yeah, that definitely was a biter, no doubt. But a win, right? A win,
That's all that
no doubt.
matters.
And
You
that's
win
all
by
that
1 point,
matters, right?
or you win by 100 points. It's a win.
That's right. So, what is up now with regards to the regular season? Well, week 5, as we mentioned, it's between Dallas and Pittsburgh. It is an away game, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to watch it. We may not, but it is broadcasted on NBC.
It's on Sunday Night Football, isn't it?
It is, it may. Week number 6 brings us the Detroit Lions. That's on Sunday, October 13th at 3:25 p.m. And that is at AT&T Stadium. So that's a home game, and that's going to be broadcasted by Fox. And then week number 7 is a bye week. That means the Cowboys get to rest. They don't get to worry about anything.
Rest.
So that's going to be good for them. And of course, week number 8 brings us to San Francisco, and that's Sunday, October 27th at 7:20 p.m. That's in San Francisco at Levi's Stadium. That's going to be broadcasted on NBC as well. So that's going to be a good game. They should be fully rested to deal with those 49ers.
We'll see what happens.
Right? The injuries. Who's on and who's not? Well, Marquise Bell is still out. He's the safety, number 14. He still has an ankle injury, right? Kalen Carson, cornerback, number 21. He's out. He's out with a shoulder injury still. Trayvon Diggs, cornerback, number 7. He's out with a foot injury.
He was playing last week.
Well, he's out again, according to what I was reading. So, DeMarcus Lawrence, he's out with a shoulder. Micah Parsons,
Yeah, what happened to him?
ankle sprain. I'm not sure where in the game he got the ankle sprain, but he did. So, yep, he's out. And of course, Mozzie Smith, number 58.
He played last week.
Well, according to the tracker, he's still out, or he's got injuries. Maybe he didn't play
Okay,
completely.
okay. Last week he played. All right, and there were several Trayvon Diggs played, and they were on that tracker. So I'm wondering if this is just to throw people off.
Maybe, maybe. Like I said, this was. I don't know if it was week 4 or week 5. Maybe the database is off, but that's what I was reading. So, John Stevens Jr., tight end, number 81, hamstring. So, just to give a little bit of history with regards to the upcoming game,
They have a lot of history.
they have a lot of history, but we couldn't cover all the history, right? So, I just decided to go back a couple of years, I didn't want to go back all the way to the 70s, it just didn't make any sense. But basically, the last time these two teams played, it was back in November 8th of 2020, where Dallas lost to the Pittsburgh Steelers 24-19. Prior to that, they had played on 2016, November 13th, 2016, and the Cowboys won that game 35-30. And prior to that, they had not played until December 16th, 2012. And of course, Dallas won that game in overtime 27-24.
Sorry
And
about
then,
that. FedEx is arriving, so my dogs will be working.
oh my gosh, Chewy.com.
I don't know.
And then they had played back in 2008, December 7th, where the Steelers won that game 20-13. And prior to that, 4 years prior, they had played on October
Hash
17th,
brown. Sorry.
and the Pittsburgh Steelers won that game 24-20. But there's a lot of history beyond these last couple of years. Definitely a lot of history. So we just wanted to give everybody historical history. It hasn't been good for Dallas the last couple of years playing against the Steelers.
No, it
They
hasn't.
won 2 and lost 3. So that's something to keep in mind. Of course, these are not the same teams either, right? With the same players for the most part. So, that's one of the positive things, right? So, what are our expectations? Well,
They're
they're
gonna
pretty
win.
much not my expectations. I mean, my expectations are, your expectations are that we win, right? But according to Vegas, each team has about a 50% chance of winning the game. And unfortunately, the Cowboys are considered the underdogs. And they're considered the underdogs because as we looked at the history, they've lost 3 games and won only 2. But according to the folks in Vegas, the ones that bet on these games, each team has about a 50% chance, half and half, of winning this.
Wow.
So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. I mean, what do you think? What do you think? It's going to be 60%, 40%, 70%, 30%?
I thought the Steelers would have a little bit more of an edge. We're playing at their stadium,
Right.
right? But for them to say it's a 50%, wow. So they're half and half.
Yeah. Of course, keep in mind these are gamblers that we're talking about, okay? They're probably half drunk when they're making these predictions. So, it could be in the Steelers' favor. In fact, to be honest with you, I expect that the Steelers are going to do fairly well. You know, so I won't be necessarily crying as bad, if they don't win this game. But you never know, right? You never know. If they do win, I'll be happy. They can go home, rest, and be ready for the 49ers, in week.
The Lions.
Sorry, the Lions. Yeah, the Lions. Yeah. And then, of course, is it the Lions and then the bye week? Yes.
Yes.
No, they don't have time to rest. They need to win this one.
All right, so
They
then
need to win the next one, and then they can
and
rest.
then they can rest.
Then they can rest, But for now, we'll take whatever win comes out on Sunday. So but it is going to be a rough schedule. There's no doubt that it's going to be a rough schedule coming up, and we're going to have to be praying extra, for these boys to actually do very well in the next 3 or 4 weeks. So, you know, it could be the start of our march to the Super Bowl, or it could be the end of our playoff aspirations, whichever comes first, right? So
Yeah, well, the Steelers. What's the record right now? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't check the record, but you may want to check, see if you can do a quick check what their
Yeah, the record right now is 1, 2, 3, 1, 3-1,
Okay, well, you know, something to consider, right? So
3-1, and we're 3-1 also, aren't we?
I think so. No, don't we have 2 losses? Hold on, let me check. I've been in depression with the Cowboys lately, so I hold on.
Yeah, we're 2-2.
2-2. So
Yeah.
yeah, we've got a tough. What are the Lions at? Check real quick what the Lions are at, and check what San Francisco is at, just so that we know what we're facing here in the next couple of weeks.
Detroit Lions are at 3-1,
No, buddy.
and San Francisco is at 2-2.
Okay, I feel better. You know,
So
but you know that we've got to get past Pittsburgh, and we definitely have to get past the Lions. Otherwise, we are
so
totally
the
screwed.
Dr. Pepper is gonna be backwards.
Yeah, so let's hope for a good game on Sunday. No doubt about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yep. All righty. Well, I promised a very short show, and we actually had a very short show. It's probably the shortest one we've had.
Right.
19 minutes and 51 seconds. That is
What?
a
Awesome, right?
record for us.
Well, Dan, I tell you, man, hey, hopefully we win. If we win, we'll do good. If we won't, like you said, we'll move on to the next team.
We'll move on to the next one.
Sure.
All righty, everybody. Well, thank you all for watching, and go Cowboys.
Cowboys, thank you.
Make us proud once again. Good night, everybody.